What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about the top, two pieces from each statue room that I find are underrated, get too much hate, they're much better in person, and they're underappreciated. There's definitely statues that I'll get that people hate on it in the comment section. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if you saw this in person, you would understand how good this piece is. There's definitely some pieces that get some hate in the collection. So wanted to talk about that. I think one is this Ryu Vegeta. This piece got a lot of hate. People are saying the water looks something like a toilet. And I completely disagree. This water looks like a whirlpool, where it's swooshing around and sucking in because of all the energy effects. And this piece is actually really amazing. KD's Vegeta Final Flash got a ton of love. And I had both of them side by side, looking at them for months before determining truly which one was better for me. And it was this guy. So I feel like he's underappreciated. He's really good in person. He's huge. He's, more super Vegeta than KD's was. More presence, better water effects, better sculpt. KD did have a little bit better paint app in some areas, but overall, I feel like this piece is underappreciated. It's a really fantastic piece, but KD Vegeta for sure in this room. I think another piece that honestly deserves a little bit more love, Primal and Kratos. I see people on Facebook not liking this, and they're buying all these like custom Kratoses that, in my opinion, are far worse in every possible conceivable way. This piece is an absolute masterpiece. It comes with 3 portraits, the axe Swiss shield or the blades of chaos. You got Atreus, you got a gorgeous base. To me, it's the best video game statue that Prime One's ever done. This is an absolute grail, and I feel like it deserves a little bit more love. In general, I think most people who own this really appreciate it, but there's always those haters out there that I see being like, just dogging it, being like, it's not that great. I'm like, dude, it is that great. It's one of my favorite statues. Next up is the Transformers room. I mean, that's really what I call this Transformers room, because I have more Transformers than other lines, even though this really has kind of 4 lines in this room, but yeah, so let's talk about some of the underrated pieces in this room. Now, here's one thing I kind of deem underrated. When a piece is an ultimate grail and it's still in stock for a long time, it's not selling out even when it's on sale. Jetwing Optimus, in my opinion, is the best statue ever created. We're not including busts, just statues. It's the best single statue ever created. Nothing is better than this statue, in my opinion. Yet, I still see people not buying it when, it's on sale for $3,000 shipped. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd buy that in a heartbeat. Now, maybe they just don't have the money, but this piece should have been sold out during pre-order status. It's that good. And maybe we can blame the economy or the lack of Transformer collectors, but this truly is the best statue ever created for me, and it should have been sold out a long time ago. So I feel like it's, doesn't get as much praise as it really should. I'd say the other piece in this room that could use a little bit more love, Mechagodzilla. This piece actually surprised me, because in photos, I was a little hesitant to order this. I really was, because I thought it was quite expensive. But getting it in person, I, setting it up, seeing all the intricate detail, I like to think of it as this. It is literally Godzilla, like bigger than that Godzilla, but a Transformer detail. It's like a Transformer. You look at it next to Grimlock. They're, a lot of similarities. It's like a Transformer statue. And, a big Transformer statue that big, look at any of these retailed, $2,000, same price. And I think this has just a detailed base, just a detailed body. It comes with a swap out portrait, light ups. So I definitely think it's worth the money. I think it's a phenomenal piece. It did have a very low edition size, meaning sales weren't too good. Maybe people just don't want to collect Godzilla or Mecha. But I didn't see a ton of praise about this piece over the groups and forums, when this piece is absolutely amazing. Now, in terms of the hallway, I'd probably say this T-Rex is a little underloved because it's literally in stock everywhere. I don't see anybody talking about it. When Chronicle did their T-Rex bust, I mean, it had the advantage of A, it's a Stan Winston sculpt, B, it's the OG. That's the two advantages. However, in reality, this sculpt is more detailed. The paint app's 1,000 times better. The detail's substantially better. Has glass eyes, a far superior base, and it's priced extremely competitively. $750 shipped, through most retailers. Like, that is a very good price for such a cool, such a big piece. Roaring open mouth with that like translucent tongue. This thing is incredible in person, and don't see anybody talking about it. I released a review, and I didn't see anybody even talking about it. I'm like, the fuck? This piece is amazing, especially for the price nowadays. Alrighty, so there's definitely some underrated, underappreciated pieces in this room. Number one, Thor bust. Now, this is still new. Not a lot of people have it in hands. I swear only me and Nerdsphere actually own this. Well, no, one guy from my group, Omer. So I swear 3 people in the world own this, even though the production's finished, according to Queen. But retailers, they all take forever. Anyways, a lot of people have been, really talking trash about this piece, saying it looks nothing like the prototype and this and that. In all honesty, I feel like the prototype, that photo they showed, that kind of looked photoshopped to me. It didn't look like a real bust. It kind of just looked like they took a photo of Chris Hemsworth and, it didn't look like a statue. It looked like just a photo of Chris Hemsworth made into the bust. I don't think it was the actual prototype. Now, here's what I will say. This bust is definitely one of the most realistic silicones I own. The detail is unbelievably amazing, and in person, it's incredible. The first thing my wife said when she saw this was, that looks just like him. I didn't tell her other people said it didn't look like him. I didn't, I just said, hey, babe, what do you think? That's the first words that came out of my mouth. It looks just like him. It looks very good. This piece truly is phenomenal. And here's the crazy part. I have a pre-order through Spec Fiction, which apparently it's shipping in a few months, and I'm literally offering it for $700 off. So you're getting it for like $3,300 shipped, and still nobody wants it. And I'm just like, wait, what? This piece has, like more realism than probably the majority of all my Infinity Studio busts. So it's wild, but it is what it is. I'm probably just going to, Spec is offering to give me half my deposit back in store credit. So I'll probably just take that since no one wanted to buy it. Trying to help you guys out. But this bust truly is amazing, and it deserves more love. Now, I know it's a little controversial, but I still think this Joker gets too much hate for how good it is. I know the paint app isn't as good as the prototype, but if you never saw the prototype, let's just say you never saw it, and they showed this off, everyone would be freaking like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. That's almost the problem with the prototype. They almost need to like not show a prototype, instead get a factory production and then show that, and then people would be happy. But some people generally, set a lot of unrealistic expectations. You can never expect proto quality for the most part. It's extremely rare. The only occasions you can is, I would say, probably J&D. But this Joker really is amazing in my opinion. It's better than like, any of the Prime 1 Justice League 1/3 in terms of detail, the head sculpt, and whatnot. Yet, these pieces generally got really good reviews, and high praise, where this, people were trying to sell it. They hated it. In my opinion, this is one of their best 1/3 to date. And I think it deserves more love. I know the paint app isn't as good as the proto, but the sculpt, the mixed media, the concept is absolutely amazing. I freaking love this piece. And I don't care what anyone says. It is the best Joker statue out there. It's hands down better than J&D, Queen Studios. I've seen them in person. This is easily the best. Easily. But yeah, this piece is underappreciated in my opinion. It shouldn't get as much hate as it got. I still think for a production piece, it looks amazing. Alrighty, so in here, I will say I want to list a little bit more than two. We're going to list three in this room. Number one, Chucky. A lot of people hated it in my review. And they were just like, get your money back, send it back, this and that. And I'm like, wait, what? Here's the thing. When I review a piece, I try to give you guys the absolute, nitty gritty, how I would change something, down to the micro detail. Like almost I'm analyzing it with a freaking magnifying glass. But in reality, I'm quite easy to satisfy and I'm not nearly as picky as most others. Sure, I might, complain about it in the video, but in real life, I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome. So for me, this Chucky is like 10 out of 10 good. It really is. With me adding the base, having them hold the knife, flip you off with the box, like the whole display is 10 out of 10 for me. This Chucky is hands down, just amazing. The teeth, I absolutely love. The eyes, the realism, him flipping you off. Believe it or not, I'll do Zoom meetings and sometimes not have my background blurred, and people will see Chucky flipping them off and Freddy, but they love it. No, but I'm telling you, this Chucky is absolutely amazing and totally worth the money. It's the best Chucky doll I've ever seen. I absolutely love the, NECA Chucky for Bride, and that's the best Bride version. But for classic OG Chucky, which is always my go-to, that's the best I've ever seen. I would say the second piece that I feel are underrated, honestly, I gotta say the ECC dual pair. These pieces don't get as much love as I feel they kind of should. A lot of people were, kind of talking down on it. Yes, I know they're expensive. I know the likeness on Freddy is a little questionable, but I do believe these are two of my favorite 1/3 scale statues ever created. Like these to me are far better than pretty much any Prime one. I mean, Wonder Woman on horse is the only comparable one, and Ash. But, in general, like this beats out any of my DC 1/3s outside of Wonder Woman on horse. It beats out any J&D. I still think both of these are better than J&D Wonder Woman. That's going for, 4K now in aftermarket? Everyone and their mom wants it. I still think these are better. Without a doubt, they're better. Better statues. Yeah, Wonder Woman may be silicone skin and whatnot, but the translucent resin glass eyes with those bases and concept, that beats it for me. The last piece, I can't even fully show you because it's missing the head, but it's the Predator bust. Check out my review. That piece got a ton of hate in the video. A ton of hate. Like 9 out of 10 people were saying, return it. It looks like an overblown this and that. And I'm just like, dude, I just shipped the head off to get repaired and, fix a few things. And when we get it back and it's going to be mint and we're going to fix everything, it's definitely going to be a grail. But this piece truly is amazing. By Aliens FX, it is ridiculously big in a good way. Sometimes pieces are too big in a bad way where it's just like absurd and you're just like, God, it's too big. Frankly, Prime One's like that. It's too big in my opinion. I wish it was properly 1/3 scaled because then I could sell Cinema Cat. But it's not. They overscaled it in a bad way, in my opinion, because it doesn't scale with any other 1/3 statue. So therefore, you can't display it with other 1/3s. It looks out of place. Some people may not mind that, but I do. I have OCD where I like my statues to scale, appropriately. Like all these scale really good. PCS scaled Blade perfectly. These all scale really good. Cinema Cat scales perfectly. That is the size this should have been. So it bugs me. But that Predator bust is perfectly scaled for how big a Predator really should be. A Predator is huge. If you remember when he held Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's a pretty, big dude, he was massively bigger. And when I compare that bust to this bust, how big that is in comparison, I'm like, yep, it is scaled perfectly. So that's definitely highly underrated, in my opinion, that bust. Again, check out my video if you want to see what it actually looks like, or go to Aliens FX, or check out my recent Instagram posts. But that piece is definitely highly underrated in my opinion. Anyways, folks, that is it. Just, there's obviously a lot more statues I could, I think are a little, underappreciated and deserve a little bit more love. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.